Yeah, we are on.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Mr. Jerry, and here we're going to have Mr. Mena, who is going to be our facilitator for today. So, sir, over to you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and glad to hear to see everyone that are doing their efforts on a Saturday to learn more and to open new doors, new possibilities. It's always a pleasure. Um, I'm going to tell you today this model that we're going to be working in for the next 6 weeks. It's called innovation and design thinking, which is a method, a way for us to create new ideas, new things that haven't been invented yet, haven't been created yet. But to get there, we first have to understand a few things about ourselves and break a few barriers. You guys probably, just as we in Latin America, have one big challenge to overcome. The first big challenge of many, that is to believe in ourselves, to think that we have what it takes to be able to do the things that we want to do, to achieve our dreams, to go to space if we want to create robots, to whatever you want to do. And that's the first goal. We, or most of us, have not been taught in school, in our homes, to believe that we can do whatever we want to do. And we think that everything that is good and cool and great comes from Europe, comes from the United States, and we think that we in our countries, in our cities, we're not the ones that can create all these things that the world needs right now. So we're first going to start with that. We're going to start talking about a success story. And this success story, I want it to be you guys and girls' success story. Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to need for this model is basically two things. Just you with all your creativity, uh, all your amazing skills, or your power, all your motivation, and we're going to need a bit of courage. What we're going to do now is it's not easy. It's something new. You're going to be challenging something new. You're going to be facing something that you haven't faced before, and that scares us as humans when we see something, when we experience something that we don't know. We are afraid. People fear what they don't know, and you are very bold to be taking this step into the unknown with the Coderina thing. So you already have courage. You already have brought that courage, and we're going to be needing it for the rest of the process. And we're going to be talking about what is to be an entrepreneur, because what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be learning, is a tool for innovation. But before that, one step before that is we become entrepreneurs. We become people that do things in a different way, that think in a different way, that when they see problems, they try to find solutions. They not just make complaints. They not just say, "Oh, the government should fix this," or someone else, and like a grown-up, should fix this. You see a problem and you try to fix it, and that is where your your road, your path begins. We've seen a lot about this word in the media and in different in movies, in TV shows. But what is to be an entrepreneur? In the beginning, the first concept that we have of entrepreneurship is with or very early ancestors. people that lived in caves that started banding together before society was created, they were constantly in a constant need to create new things to adapt to new situations, because it was either that or they couldn't make it. So the first examples of how to find problems and as a team, as a group, find solutions is from the very early stages of humankind. Later, the word entrepreneur got first. It was first used in France, and it was used as a synonym of an adventurer, someone who would see the unknown, who would see what's not there, and trying to find something, trying to create something, go to places that nobody has ever gone. And that is speaks a lot of what we do, and what you're going to be doing here in the innovation model. Your goal right now is to learn how to, from nothing, create something that no one has ever seen. It's a great challenge and it's a huge adventure. And entrepreneurs today, they are the new discoverers and the new conquerors. And we've seen it even in these complicated times of COVID, of lockdowns, of restrictions. You would think that, oh, this we're not going to be able to do anything of this because it's too hard right now. We can't even go out of our houses. But people every day keep showing us that even in this tricky times, we can create, we can solve problems, we can help people and conquer the unknown even today. So I'm going to be following your comments on YouTube. If you have any questions, my English is not perfect, so perhaps I use a word that is not actually a word. Please feel free to ask, to share your comments, whatever, and I'll be trying to follow them on the chat. So, being an entrepreneur is full of challenges. You might see in social media, you might hear in the news about stories of people who wanted to create new things, very innovative things, and they made it. And it looks like it's something that happened overnight, like from with almost no effort, very luckily just stumbling into an invention and they become millionaires and famous and everything. But the reality is not like that. You're going to face a lot of challenges going through this road, trying to create new things. And one of the first challenges is that you're going to have to improvise a lot, because where you want to go, there are no roads yet. You are the ones constructing those roads, and people are going to be following you eventually. So there's a lot of what you're going to face that you don't know and that we don't know. So you have to be prepared to improvise and to be the one leading the pack, not just following the group. There are sacrifices that you're going to have to do, because to make these kind of things work means that you have to put a lot of effort. That means that you're going to sometimes have to not do the things that you love to do, playing with your friends, doing sports, going to the movies, stuff like that. You're going to have to not do all the things that you want to do, because you have to put time and effort in your project. That's what we all do, and that's the only recipe to make your dream come true, whatever you want to do. And you're going to go against the current. You are going to be doing something that most people either don't want to do or think that it's kind of silly doing. You're going to be finding people that tell you, hey, don't do that. Just follow the path. Go on the road that we all have gone and that is proven that it's going to work. Do that. Why try to create something new? Why the risk? And you have to not let that people discourage you. It's one of the at least for me, what's one of the toughest things to always have to like feel that you're the only one doing it, but now you're part of a program here that you're about 350. There are about 350 of you that are rowing on the same direction. You want to do some things different. You want to create new things. You want to do epic stuff, and so you are in good company. But there's not only sacrifice and challenges, but there are also a lot of rewards. You're going to be lucky enough to work in something you love. And I cannot stress this enough. This is something that people can only dream about in a lot of places. A lot of our parents, of older people that you know, can only dream of working in something they love. Most of them, and it happens to all of us at some point, we have to work in things that we don't like because we need to work, we need the money, we need to survive, to make all the resources we need to keep going with our projects. We're going to have to do something that we don't like. And for some people, their whole lives they spend working in things that they don't like because they want to provide for their families, they want to provide for themselves. You are going to be lucky enough to choose what you want to work in and work in something you love, something you feel passionate about. You're going to hear a lot of lines and phrases about if you work in something you love, you're not going to work a day in your life. And it's part true. It doesn't sometimes feel like you're working, but it is a lot of work. As we said earlier, it will take a few sacrifices on your part and a lot of effort, but the joy of waking up a Monday morning and going to meet with a team that you created, a team of friends, of colleagues that are passionate about the same thing as you, and working on something that you want to dedicate your life to. For example, here we have someone that wants to solve world hunger. Just waking up and putting all your effort and all your hours and your weekends and all that sweat into something that you're really passionate about. It's undescribable. It's a privilege that not a lot of people have. So enjoy it. You will be able to manage your time. And I know this sounds very not sexy, very not interesting, but you will have the power and the privilege to be able to manage your week, your day, which means if you're not an early person like myself, and you rather wake up every day at 10 a.m. and work from 10 a.m. on, you can do it. If you're passionate about other things, for example, I want to solve world hunger, but I also love to play soccer. So I can manage my time, so I can train and play soccer as much as I want and do the work as much as I can. So, and then later, perhaps you want to raise a family and you want to spend time with your kids. You want to travel and work at the same time. The possibilities and illness and being able to manage your time. That I know that it doesn't sound very cool, but it is quite amazing, especially in this time and age. And you'll feel proud. You're going to go to bed every night. Whenever you take a vacation, you're going to rest knowing that everything, all your effort, everything that you're doing goes to make someone's lives better. Perhaps you're just helping a little group of people. Perhaps you're just helping your city. Perhaps you're trying to solve, like our friend here, a worldwide problem. And even if you don't get to solve it completely, the fact that you're doing something, even if it's a very little step towards a solution, you feel proud. You feel good about yourself. You feel good about what you're doing. You feel that all your effort and all your sacrifices are worth something, are doing something, are changing something. And that's why we're here. there's something that you're going to have to deal with as entrepreneurs, as innovators, as people that want to create new things and change something. And is that 90% of new businesses or new projects fail. That is a reality. What does this mean? Does this mean that we have to not try? We have to. Is this aimed to discourage you? Not at all. Uh, this just means that we have to keep trying and that we don't have to let a failure define us. We will. I have, and probably most of the team that you're working with have failed at some point in their lives with a project, with a personal situation, with a family situation. We all have failed. Perhaps you too have experienced failure so far. You failed a class, you lost a friendship, you lost a relationship, you have a fallout with a family member, you didn't got picked for a team that you wanted to be in. We all have experienced failure at different grades, but that doesn't mean that we have to stop trying to get to where we want to get. If that is our passion, if that is our goal, if that is what we want to do in life, we just have to keep trying. And the people that you see in the newspapers, on TV, that have made it so far, these guys now that are creating spaceships to, I don't know, take people, like not astronauts, just civilians to space. They didn't quit after their fifth or their ninth failure, not even after their 100th failure. They just keep pushing and pushing and pushing until they get things done. And that is something that you're going to have to be able to do. It's not easy. Dealing with failure is not easy. Not only for ourselves, what we feel when we fail, but for what other people tell us. Like a lot of people are going to be telling you after you failed your first project, if you failed, perhaps you succeeded your first project. They're going to be saying, "Hey, like, okay, that's enough. You tried. You're not good at it. Just like find a regular job. Just finish college and high school, and just go back to the regular path that we were talking about." Don't listen to those people. If your passion, if you find your passion, you find your dream, and you want to achieve it, you have to keep going 9 times, 50 times, 100 times, however many times it takes. But it's not just failing, like falling down and just keep going. That's not the solution, the recipe for this. You have to always remember that failure is the greatest teacher. It's not a fail when you fall down. If you learn something, it's not a failure at all. It's just another way to learn. You get you fall down, you learn a way of not doing it, you learn a way to organize yourself better, you realize that you have to study something, that you have to be more prepared. Whatever you get, whatever lesson you get after falling down, means that you didn't fail, that you learned something, that you're better suited to achieve your goals now, and that you have a teaching that you can share with other people. So the only way to absolutely unequivocally fail is when you fall down, when something doesn't work out the way it was supposed to work out, and you didn't learn anything. You didn't get a lesson. You didn't get a lesson for the business, a lesson for yourself. If you didn't get any of that, that is actual failure, and it's very hard to have one of those, because whenever something doesn't work, you can get something, and talk to your teachers here, talk to your classmates, and be honest with yourself. When you fall down, when you have one of these failures that we were talking about, you lost a friendship, you fail a class, you didn't get into a team or a club that you wanted to get. What did you do, or what did you learn about it? perhaps not in the moment, perhaps it took you a few months or even years to be able to look back and say, oh, I get it. I didn't pass that class because I spent more time doing something else than focusing on the class. I didn't pay attention during class, so I have to pay more attention. And for everybody, for each of us, the lesson is different. I learned that the way that I learn is by doing stuff. I'm better. I learn better when I'm creating. I'm doing stuff with my hands. When I'm executing things, not just hearing someone and taking notes. For other people, for example, for my brother, for example, he is the complete opposite. You would think they're very similar, but we're not similar in that point. He learns a lot when he listens to someone and just pays attention, and they takes a few notes after the end of the class. That's the best way for him to learn. It took me a lot of failures, a lot of falling down to realize that I couldn't learn that way. And now I used to hate going to classes because I felt dumb because I couldn't learn. But now that I know what is the proper way for me to learn, I love going to classes. Well, not, of course, not love like I spend all my days taking classes, but it's interesting to me, and I enjoy doing it, especially because now I choose learning about the things that I love. So remember, you will fall down and you will fail. You have to be mentally prepared for that, and be mentally prepared to take a lesson out of it. So I'm going to ask you in the chat, please write about a failure that you think that you had in your life. It doesn't matter the size. It doesn't matter how long. Just write about a failure and what did you learn about that failure. And if you haven't learned anything yet, just take this time to think a little bit about that failure and what did you learn. Did you again have a problem with your family, like have a fight with your parents? Did you have problems at school? Did you, I don't know, have problems making new friends? What kind of problems did you face, and what did you learn, or what are you learning right now about it? I, there's a bit of a delay with the chat, so I'm going to keep moving, but please keep writing, and we're going to be reading it in a few minutes. So, about what we're going to be doing here, we have to think outside the box. The definition of innovation involves creating new things, doing something in a way that it wasn't done before, creating something that it wasn't there. So we're going to be, by definition, thinking outside the box. That means let's not copy things that already are there. Let's not try to replicate solutions that you're already found looking online or in your city or in books. It's time to get as creative as possible. Here, there are no bad ideas. There are no crazy ideas. We need those crazy ideas today. So be as creative as you want. Believe in yourself. It's very, very, very important that for what we're going to be doing now, you think that you're able to do it. You think that you're able to achieve your goals, your dreams, that you're able to get whatever that crazy idea that you have in your head, that you are able to do it. It's very important that you're convinced, and that's not something that you do just because I told you to believe in yourself. Doesn't mean that automatically you believe in yourself. It's a process, it's a work, and we're going to be working on that during this module and during this next 6 weeks. So if you're not already believing in yourself, you will by the end of this classes, and find something you love. And find something you love. You all know that you all have passions. You all have things that you love to do. The challenge is how we turn that knowledge, that experience, that passion into how do we use that to create what we want to create, to solve problems for people, to solve problems of the world. Remember that what we do here is solving people's problems in innovative ways. The highest success rates for new companies, new ideas, new services, new products is the ones that are created that solve people's real problems, not what we think that people want. We need to create something that we know that people want. And that is one of the stages that we're going to be learning in the next class, next Saturday, about empathy, how to feel what the person is feeling, how to understand the problem that they're having, and how we can solve that problem. What we're going to be doing here, you're going to be learning in this program about technology, about AI, about code, about a lot of things. Those are the tools that you use to create things, to create products, services, applications, websites, whatever you want to create. And for that thing that you want to create to be successful, it needs to be something that people want. So we're going to learn in these classes how to find that people want, and how to connect that with our passion, with something we love. And there we have the winning formula, the winning mix. Solving people's real problem, doing something that we love. Sounds very undoable, sounds very impossible, but it can be done. And we have done it. So you can do it too. And thank you for highlighting that idea, because it is very important, and it will be very important for you on the road to come. And there are tons and tons of examples. My examples might be a little outdated, because I'm a bit older than you guys and girls, but let me see. So there used to be a phone company, a cell phone company called Nokia. Perhaps a few of you that are a bit older know about it. They used to do phones all over the world. Everybody had their phones. It was this old brick-like phone that the battery would last for a week. Was very sturdy. You could throw it to the ground and it didn't suffer any damage. It was a great phone, and it was everything that everybody wanted at that point. And then smartphones came, the ones that you're probably more familiar with, the ones with touch screen and internet and all this technology. And this company said, Nokia company said, okay, we are the most sell phone in the world. We don't need to change. We already won. We have something that people want. But what people want changes in time. With each new technology, with each new discovery, with each new problem that people have, our needs or wants change. This company decided that they didn't need to adapt, that they didn't need to care for what people want, because they already knew what people wanted. And now they disappeared. From being the worldwide kings of cell phones, they just disappear. And after a decade, they are now starting again from scratch. So it is very, very important to create things that people want, and to always be in touch with people to know what they want. So here we have a comment. I was selected to act in a particular post in school, and I found myself failing in my academics. But then after a bad grade, I decided to create a certain balance between my academics and this post. That is exactly what we were talking about. You did something that you wanted to do, you tried something new, and you fail at the beginning. Failing at your class, at your academics, is a kind of failure. But then instead of quitting and saying, this isn't for me, I can't do both, I'm already failing, it's not for me, I don't have the skill, I don't have the whatever what it takes. You chose to experiment and say, okay, this path didn't work, so I'm going to take this path and see what happens. That is exactly what we're going to be doing here in this class in design thinking. We try new roads, new ways of doing things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. When we don't, we take a learning, we take a teaching, and we keep moving forward. So that's excellent example of what we're trying to do here and what we're going to be doing during these weeks. Betty here says, I tried my own business but failed. We've all been there, Betty. And what did you learn about this failure? What's your main take after this failure? And why did it fail? Did you have problems finding new clients? Did you have problems with the money, with the funding? What was the situation? Tell us in the chat as I move forward with the presentation. So this is design thinking. Design thinking is a process of 5 steps, and we will be doing these 5 steps during this 6 following weeks. Okay. Well, Betty says that she learned that she could try again, and that's one of the biggest lessons that you can take out of all this. You can fall down, you can dust yourself off, you can go again, you can go away, you can try again, and every time that you try again, you're a little bit better. So very well done. Okay, so design thinking, again, 5 stages. These are the 5 stages that we need to learn and we need to repeat in order to find a problem, a real problem that real people are having, and how to create something that people want, that people understand, that people like, and then you launch it to the market. The first stage that we're going to begin with next week, it's called empathize. Sorry, my pronunciation is not very good at this time of the morning here in Puerto Rico. This stage is about understanding. We need to remember that everything we do is focused on people, on humans. We're solving human problems, real people's problems. And to begin creating a solution to that problem, we need to understand the problem and how it feels. There are different ways of doing that. We're going to review a lot of them, but this is the human part, the understanding part. We need to put our hearts out there to understand what people are feeling. Are you trying to solve a problem that your family is having, that your friends are having, that the people in your city is having, that the people in your country is having? Okay, talk to people. Talk to people and listen. Don't tell them what you want to do. Hear them, what they want to, what they're expecting, what they think the solution should be. You're going to learn a lot about talking to people and just listening. Not only for this, but in life in general. Our second stage is define. Once you get all this information about what people are suffering and what they're expecting, you start to organize your idea. You're going to have a lot of ideas of how to solve these people's problems. Then, through a certain method that we're going to review in 2 more weeks, you're going to organize all the ideas and put them into words, not just thoughts in your heads, just very clear ideas, phrases in a piece of paper that is going to help you understand what is the road to take. The stage number 3 is ideate. It's where we start creating. It's where we pick one of the ideas that we have to solve this problem, and and we start figuring out how we're going to bring this idea to life. Is it going to be an application? Is it going to be a service? Is it going to be a group? Is it going to be a club? What it's going to be? And remember, the amount of solutions that you can create, it's there's no limit. The limit is your creativity. Of course, we're focusing here on technology, on tech solutions, putting everything that you're learning with this program to use. But go crazy. You can create a mix of a club with technology, people solving things with technology. The limit is defined by you. And we then move to stage 4, that is prototype. Prototype is when we turn our idea or solution into a tangible thing that people can see, can touch, can feel, and they can see how the solution would work. It can be an application in a cell phone, or it can be like in the image you're seeing, just a drawing in a piece of paper that shows people how it's going to be, how it's going to work, and you see how they react to it. And finally, you test. You show that prototype, the prototype, sorry, to the people that you're working with, the people that you want to solve the problem for, and see what they feel, what they like, what they don't like. Take that feedback, take that learning, and then you start creating the prototype again and improving it until you get the final product. Here, how can we help the poor? That is a huge, a huge question. And we're not going to be the ones telling you how to help the poor. Not me, not the teachers, not books, not classes. You are you are the one that has to find out with the people that are having the problem. So, of course, it's not just going to the streets and find someone poor and talking to them. It's a bit more than that. You can do research about the situation of the poor in your country. You can read a lot about it. You can talk to grown-ups, to teachers about groups or foundations or organizations that work with poor people that have a lot of learning and a lot of experience for you to absorb. Once you get to understand the problem properly, you are going to be the one choosing the way to end poverty. Perhaps it's technology, perhaps it's doing fundraisings, perhaps it's you going out to the streets and giving away things to the poor. We don't know. There are a lot of people right now trying to solve this problem. It's not enough people. We need more people trying to solve this problem. And each of them are trying new ways and new solutions. None of that has worked as good as we want it to work. So we need you to create something new to help the poor. I don't think I can make money if I get distracted. Please give me a little bit more information about that. What do you mean distracted? Distracted by other things, things that you want to do, distracted by other people? Give me a little bit of context to help you with that statement. So to finish this design thinking introduction, this is a process that is not done just once. This is a cycle that you have to keep repeating. At first, you repeat it until you have the final product or service that you want to launch, that you already know it solves people's problems. But even after you make it available for people and you start selling or offering it to people, you have to keep every now and then repeating this cycle, because people's needs change, people's expectations change. You have to be up to date with those changes in order for your solution, for your creation to keep being impactful for people. So keep repeating this, keep talking to people, keep learning about what you are doing, about the effect that your product or service, that your creation is having on people. keep learning about what other people are doing. There's going to be other people trying to solve world hunger, world poverty, and you can learn a lot from them. And sometimes, at some point, you're going to realize, oh, now there are 10 people doing exactly what I'm doing. It's time for me to do this again, to create something new again, to find a new way that nobody's taking and be original again. So this is a cycle that you never stop doing. All these people, and I apologize for the pictures that are not showing. Apparently, Google is blocking certain images that I don't have the copyright to. But at least you know the names. Some of them are very famous worldwide. Some of them are famous to certain people that like certain things. And some people you don't know, they're Chilean entrepreneurs that I'm going to introduce to you. Sorry, Jonathan. Don't worry, we're going to be dealing with those stages in depth during this next weeks. So you're going to have the time to ask all the questions, and we're going to get into detail soon. Right now, it's just for you to get a little bit of a little bit of context to what we're going to be doing. So these people, Steve Jobs, Oprah Winfrey, are known for a lot of people. Almost everybody in the world knows about these people. They didn't become this famous and they didn't achieve their goals from one day to the other. They worked their whole lives to get to where they are. Just as the second group, Pelé, that probably all soccer fans know, and this lady, J.K. Rowling, who is known for everybody that loved the Harry Potter book saga or movie saga. Also, people that comes from extremely difficult situations. They experience a lot of failure, poverty, and a lot of needs. And by not quitting their dreams and by keep pushing forward, they arrive to success, to the success that they wanted to have. They change things for a lot of people too. Just as like this other Chilean entrepreneurs, and I put Chilean entrepreneurs because those are the ones that I know more. I'm Chilean. This guy, Juan Jose Miller, he was a regular student, and he wanted to solve world hunger too, in a way. And he said, well, how do I tackle a problem this big? He said, okay, I'm going to start small with my neighborhood. And he created a device that allows people who are not able to afford big packs of food. For example, they are not able to buy a big bag of rice. He created dispensers for rice, for grain, for salt, for spices, for different things that people need to cook daily. So you can go with a small, I don't know, a cup, a small container, and you get what you need for that day. And it might sound silly, but a lot of people don't have enough money during the day to buy the big bag of rice for the whole week. They can only afford a cup of rice for that day. And because of this guy's creation, a lot of people now are able to afford healthy food for their whole family on daily basis. And he's getting awards and getting money from all over the world because this very simple and very silly idea is changing lives for the better. And the other entrepreneur that apparently that you can't see the picture now, Komal Dadlani, she's an Indian descent Chilean entrepreneur. She went into science and she wanted to help schools with not a lot of funding that didn't have laboratories or any kind of equipment to teach kids about science. So she created an application for your phone that replicates what happens when you mix different chemical compounds. So now you didn't have to have a full equipped laboratory in your school to be able to learn and to love science. And she's changing the life of a lot of kids all around the world with what she done. There are people just like you One day they were just like you, uh, taking their first steps into something that they didn't knew, because they knew that they wanted to do something different. They knew that they wanted to change people's lives, that they want to solve the world's problems, and they didn't know how to do it. They didn't thought at the beginning that they have the skills, the resources to do it, but they keep pushing and they kept pushing and they kept pushing, and now they're examples of what we should be doing. There's no reason why you, everybody that is listening to me right now, cannot achieve the dream that you want. You can. It's not easy. It's not going to be easy for any of us. But if you put enough work, you keep pushing forward and you keep believing in yourself, you keep having that passion for the problem, you will achieve the success that you want. Perhaps it's not the success that we dream. We all dream of creating tomorrow this solution that helps everybody in the world, and we get enough money to live of working in this, and that would be the ideal scenario. It doesn't happen that often in that way. Perhaps we're going to have to work two jobs in order to be able to keep working on this solution for world hunger. Perhaps we're going to have to study and work at nights to do this happen. Perhaps we're going to have to do sacrifice. And perhaps our solution, sorry, doesn't change the world for everybody. Perhaps it just changed the world for a small group of people, from people in my city. But that is good enough. If you change the life for the better of just one people, you're doing things great. The world is a better place because you are in it. So keep pushing. What are we going to be doing right now? What are you doing right now? Today, and I apologize that the video is not working. I'm going to be sharing the link with you on the chat. This video is about what are you doing right now, what are your dreams, and what are you doing to achieve those dreams. It's very motivational, has very good music, is very uplifting. I recommend that you watch it. I'm going to share it on the chat through the Coderina team. What are you doing right now to make your dream come true, to make that goal? Are you putting enough effort? Are you doing the sacrifices that need to be done? Are you learning what you need to learn in order to make it happen? You are taking at least a few steps. You're taking this program. You're sacrificing your Saturday. You could be playing with your friends. You could be resting. You could be watching TV. You could be doing a lot of things, but you're here, sitting with us, listening to us, and trying to take a few learnings, a few new tools, a few new ideas that are going to help you in your path. You are already doing things right, but it's not enough. This is just the first steps. So what I'm going to ask you for the next week is that you find something that you love. Tell me next week, I'm going to be asking at the beginning of the lesson, what do you love to do? What is your passion? Whatever it is. And we're going to start working from there, how to find the world's problems and how to solve them with your passion. And the important thing that I want you to take out of this introductory class is not the stages of design thinking. We're going to be dealing with that later. It's not examples of tech or of people. Is that you have what it takes to do whatever you want to do, that you can, and you have to believe in yourself, and that you have to be as crazy and as creative as you want in this class. With those rules, if you follow those rules, you're going to do great in this module, and you're going to do great finding your passion and doing what you love later in life. You have one advantage over me and most of the teachers that you're going to have right now. A couple of advantages, actually. You were born in the digital era, and you're what it's called digital natives. You were born basically with a cell phone in your hands. you are quickly to adapt to new technologies, and you speak and you know about technologies at an age where I was playing with toy cars and didn't knew anything about computers or any of this. You're taking your first steps very young, which means that you have a lot more time and a lot more energy to do the things that we wish we could have done, but we didn't because we started later in life. I became an entrepreneur at 25, and I found my passion at around 35 years old. It's never too late to find your passion. It's never too late to find your project in life. I love teaching. I love helping people that want to take this road of entrepreneurship and innovation to take their first steps and to grow. That's what I love. I used to be perhaps like many of you that I wanted to create the new Facebook and become a millionaire and a famous person and create something that a lot of people love. And I realized with time that I didn't have that creative mind. I wasn't that. I couldn't think outside of the box that much to create the new Facebook. But what I was good at is at talking with people and understanding them, feeling their problems, and from there, I used that skill that I had mixed with the passion that I developed for teaching to help people on their way to become these creators. And there's nothing fills me with more pride now that seeing the newspaper cover and seeing someone that I work with, a kid that I teach, a colleague that I helped, like they got an investment, their application is now very has a lot of users, the product they created is going worldwide, things like that. That's my motivation. But you're going to find your motivation in the way. You're going to find your passion. Perhaps it's not the passion that you think that you have right now, but you have to find something right now that it's your fuel. It's what helps you waking up in the morning, to work at night, to sacrifice weekends to go to these classes. Find it, and it's going to be good for you, for your personal life, and good for these classes. So if you have any questions, if you want to share any experiences, this is a moment. Share it, please, on the comments. I'm going to share this YouTube link with the teachers so you can have it for you. And I'm very eager to hear from you and to learn about your experiences. Hello, Mirabel. Hello, Mohammed. Good morning, Jane. Well, good morning here. Good afternoon where you are, probably. You want it, or you still want to be like Steve Jobs? Okay. Well, I'm going to take your idea. It's good to have role models. It's good to have people that we admire, that we want to be like them, and there are good motivations. But when you find someone that you like, read about them, inform yourself about them. Not sometimes not things are not as amazing and as pretty as you see in media. So read about Steve Jobs, learn about him. He had a lot of good qualities. He had a lot of bad qualities too. So take what works for you, take the good and imitate that. For example, he was a person that he was extremely oriented to detail. He loved design, he loved beautiful things, and he put that into everything he created. If you open an iPhone, for example, or an Apple computer, even the cables inside, all the gadgets, the processors, etc. You can see there that I'm not very good at tech hardware, but everything inside the computer is clean, organized, pretty, in the correct place, because he believed that you owe to the client to give them beauty and design and perfection, even if they couldn't see it. So that the iPhone is not built for you to be able to open it. You're not supposed to open it. But if you open it, everything is perfect inside, because that's what he believed. Design, perfection, art, even, as you're saying, to be in each piece of creation that he was a part of. So that dedication to the customer satisfaction, that orientation to perfection, and even to art is very commendable. It's something that you can learn from. Coding. Oh, I wish I would have learned coding when I was young. Now I just don't have the proper concentration to do it, and I would be doing so many great things, or at least I think great things, if I knew about code. You are very lucky to have this group of teachers and this group of people working to teach you code. Take advantage of this opportunity, please. For all of us that are that didn't learn when it was our proper time. Okay, so my time is almost up. I'm going to ask you, remember, to find a passion, something that you are really passionate about, something that you really love. Find it for next class. We're going to start working with the design thinking steps, the 5 steps. And we're going to be working in finding the problems too. And what I'm going to ask you, this class work better the more interactive you are. The more you share in the chat, the more you tell me about your experiences, about your ideas, the more I'm going to be able to help you. So don't be afraid to share. Don't feel that your ideas are dumb, that your aspirations are not good enough. We have a strict code of respect here. So whatever idea gets shared, whatever question is put on the comments, we all have to respect it. We all have to respect the people that is sharing those thoughts and ideas. So feel free, feel confident to share whatever you want to share on the comments. And we're going to help everybody that shares their ideas in the way that we can. Jane here loves animation. And you say, well, I have a passion for animation. I love animation too, actually. But can we end world poverty with animation? It sounds ridiculous, but perhaps it's not. Perhaps what the world needs to learn about the poverty problem and how to solve it is, well, a good animated movie. Pixar and Disney are doing great things about teaching us about different subjects with animation movies. I can't remember the name of the movie right now, but there's a movie that they created to teach us about our emotions and how to manage our emotions. That movie where you had like anger is a character, and what was the movie? I forgot the name. I'm getting that old that I forget things. But you can change the way people think about a subject with animation, with a good movie, with a good comic book. Whatever you want to create, that can be the solution. You can solve world problems with cybersecurity, for sure. If more people feel safe enough to use their phones to pay for things in stores, in public transportation, etc., we carry less cash with us. We lower the theft rate. That less people get mugged if you don't have money to mug. So cybersecurity can change a lot of lives. You can make money. Yes, you can make money, and it's great that you mentioned that. A lot of people, a lot of us, when we got into this innovation, especially social innovation, trying to solve the world's problems, we get into this with the idea that we can't make money out of solving people's problems. It's not good, it's not fair to make money solving world poverty, solving hunger, solving cybersecurity issues. But please pay a lot of attention to what I'm going to say, and this is going to be my final thought. You can and you must make money out of solving these problems. Why? Because if you don't make money with this, it becomes a hobby. And a hobby you do when you have spare time, when you have a little bit of time extra on weekends, when you have a little bit of extra energy, you do your hobby. You don't change the world with a hobby. You don't change the world. You don't solve the world's problems by dedicating a few hours every other week. You solve the world problem by working full time on this. And to work full time in this, you have to be able to eat, to pay rent, to have savings, to be able to pay for your studies, to eventually raise a family, perhaps, if you want to take vacations. All of that you need to be able to do with your job. If your job is to solve world hunger, you have to be able to get enough money from that to have a nice life. If you don't have a nice life, if you don't feel secure, if you don't feel at peace with your finances, you have to take 1, 2, or 3 extra jobs forever, and that you can't change the world that way. You have to work 24/7 on changing the world. So you have to make money with this. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. Thank you very much for your time. I'm going to be seeing you next Saturday, same time. We're going to begin with stage 1 of design thinking, which is empathize. And please remember, think of your passion and share it at the beginning of next class. Thank you very much to everyone.